in the fully electric 2024 Kona, and it has been completely redesigned compared to the previous models. And you know what? I actually really enjoy this car.
Yeah,
I'm
enjoying a lot of it too. Like, it feels great to drive in, but you know, one thing I'm not the biggest fan of is the design. I think it looks really electric.
Which is what I really like about it. You don't see this on a gas car, and since they've redesigned it, it looks so futuristic and modern, which is really great to see. And I must say, I actually really like the car. It really stands out.
I think it stands out a bit too much, but not like in a good way. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some things I like about it. Like, I love the fact that they're carrying forward the pixel design from the IONIQ 5 to this car, but like, I just feel it's a bit too busy on the back and then it's too rounded out on the front. But again, this is very subjective. Like, everybody's gonna feel different. But looks aside, driving this car has actually been quite nice.
It kind of feels a little more powerful than it actually is. So it has, 188 pounds of torque, and it has 201 horsepower.
Which is not a lot, but it's fast enough for the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It feels fast enough. It says it has about 420 kilometers for the range. And, we really almost got that. We got just over 400.
Well, when we turned it on, it said 422, but then I guess what it does is it calculates basically the weather, maybe your driving habits, and then it automatically dropped the range from 421 to 405. So, it's going to give you a more realistic range approach, but it's basically what they're saying you're going to get. Like, it's in line.
It has a 64.8 kilowatt hour battery on both models. So this is the ultimate package, right?
Right.
So the ultimate package has a few upgrades, which are, I think important upgrades. It has the sunroof, which the other model doesn't have. It has 8 Bose sound speakers. So the other model does not have 8. I believe it has 6.
And again, this is in Canada. There's 2 options in Canada. I believe the States has a third option.
It has a 48 kilowatt hour battery as a cheaper option.
Right, and I think you can charge that battery to 80% in like 43 minutes. So not the fastest charging that you'd get, let's say, like on a on the Hyundai IONIQ 5, but it's fast enough. Like, this is a city car at the end of the day.
Right, and for both of these options, the prices, I would say it's more affordable, right? For an electric car, the base model is about $46,000, and this package is just over 50, fully loaded, 51,000.
So it's cheaper than like a Model 3, right?
Yes.
Which is great, and you get more features for that price point, which is also great.
But the downside to this is you cannot get this car as an all-wheel drive. It's only front-wheel drive.
That is kind of a bummer if you're like live in areas where it snows a lot and you feel comfortable driving an all-wheel drive car. You might consider something else, but front-wheel drive is still a better option for the snow than rear-wheel drive cars.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
And you know what? This car handles really well.
Very well. It's so smooth.
So smooth. It's not loud.
It's not loud. Well, there's a little bit of road noise, but like, it's pretty standard on most electric cars because it's heavier. But the thing is, like, this is not like, you're not going to get in this car and be like, wow, this feels so sporty, but it feels like a very comfortable, easy drive for the city, or just like a chill drive. That's what you're buying it for. You're not buying it for to like race around corners and like, boot up and race people beside you.
Also a great family car too. Like, the back seats are so spacious. You have more legroom this year than on previous models. This car is actually 171 inches long.
Which is what, like 6 inches more than last year?
Which is 6 inches more than last year's model. You have more trunk space. You have 25 cubic feet of trunk space, which is bigger than last year's model. You have so because you have 6 inches more, the car's 6 inches longer.
You also get more leg space.
Much more leg space.
Yeah.
You have more cargo space in addition to storage in the front, which is really great as well.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is like a good. When I look at this car, it looks like a regular car, but then as soon as you get into it, you realize that this is not like your standard sedan. It's more of a subcompact, like little SUV.
Right.
Like, you're higher up, you're not totally to the ground. You have a better visual experience because of that, and it's just very roomy inside of here. And to continue on with what you just said, you do have a lot of storage here, but it's like open storage.
It's all open storage.
Which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Right.
Like,
but easily accessible, right? If you put your purse here, you have access to it. You don't have to open up a door to get it out.
Yeah, like the cup holders are nice. They, you can push them all the way in when you're done using them, and there's lots of space beside it. But like this little cubby here, this is Not a lot. This is basically your storage space in the middle, you know?
You can put some keys in there.
Keys,
you can put some...
You know? Or something you want to hide from like public view. If it fits in there, you can put in there, but it's just not a lot of space. I also wish that you could move this middle rest up or down, because I find when I'm driving, my right arm is higher up than my left arm if I'm resting both of them on the sides.
I'm not even using it, really.
I'm nitpicking, okay? But like, I would have loved more of an adjustable height. But besides that, you get a lot of buttons. I like that. You know, like if you're coming...
all physical buttons
all physical buttons. Like if you're coming from a gas car and you don't want like to buy into the whole Tesla vision of being super minimalistic, this car is going to feel a lot more like you're at home. You know, just being able to quickly hit the map or search or seat warmers or, you know, wheel warmers, whatever, it's right in front of you, you know?
But speaking of buttons, physical buttons, so you have the two displays in front of you as well.
12 inches.
And those are 12.3 inches. And last year's model, I believe they were only 10 inches. So an extra 2.5 inches, almost 2.5 inches, that's a huge difference, right?
That's what she said. But yeah, I agree. Like it does make a better visual experience when you're looking at these things because, you know.
And they're responsive too.
Yeah, it's very similar to what you get in the IONIQ 5 in terms of how it's laid out, you know. I will say though, I am finally happy that they brought wireless CarPlay and Android Auto to this car. It's been like years. It's like the one thing that most people wanted. Like you've always had wired CarPlay, but wireless should have been there years ago. So you can finally do that now, which is great. And it works good. It works good. So I'm happy to see that. You have also a little screen below it to show your temperature in the car. You do have some ambient lighting, which I like. It's not as noticeable.
It's very minimal, but
it's very minimal. It's not as noticeable as, let's say, you know, a BMW or a Mercedes where it like wraps around the entire car. But you do have some visual elements on the front dash, which gives it an extra bit of character, especially at the nighttime.
At the nighttime?
In the nighttime.
During the night?
I speak English. Now, if you don't like carrying a physical key around you, there is the ability to just use a digital key. So you can have the app on your smartphone or your watch and you can approach the car and unlock the doors that way and then drive off. You know, there's a little physical button to start it, which is fine, but I would have rather...
you always forget to turn off.
Which I always forget to turn off, but the car does turn off after a while by itself.
It does.
Thankfully, right? But I would have loved no button, just get in and go. Again, not a big deal. If you do get the Ultimate package, you do get a heads-up display, which, you know, a lot of people love because everything's directly right in front of you. It looks like it's on the road. I do like the fact that there's ventilated front seats. You don't find a lot of cars with ventilated.
And you only get that with the Ultimate
package, right? Which again, I know 50,000 sounds a lot, and it is. It is a lot of money, but again, this is like an electric car, so 50,000 for an electric car would be equivalent to, let's say, a gas car that was like 30,000, right?
Right.
And most $30,000 gas cars don't have ventilated seats. Some do, but not all. Right? So that's good to have. Wireless charging pad, again, an option to upgrade. You can fit one phone in here. It does work. Actually, my phone has a space underneath it right now, and it's so powerful that it's actually still wireless charging. 2 Type-C ports on the front. You can switch between just charging or connecting it physically to your dash so that you can access your media, or if you want to do wired CarPlay or Android Auto. And of course, you have a 12-volt or 180-watt charger. Let's check out the windows, or the mirrors rather. Mirrors, nice and big. No light though. How come there's no light on this mirror? Oh, there it is. I see it. It's a little button at the top, which you actually have to turn
back to
on.
The mirror, so you can stare yourself in the mirror.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah, let's talk about the size.
Little area for tickets.
Yep.
Which is great. Not that I'd ever use that. Lots of storage in the door bins over here. You have a little shelf right above the glove box. Glove box itself is not the biggest, but it's small. I'd say medium size, right? I do like this little storage space. It's
Me too.
Kind of cute.
What would you put there?
I don't know. Maybe a picture of you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then the seats, vegan leather.
Yes.
Very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
You know, they're a little stiffer than most cars, but still very comfortable.
Yeah.
They're wide enough. Like they snug my back very well.
They snug your back.
They snug my back. Okay.
What does that even mean?
It means
they snug.
Hugs my back like a.
They hug your back. Okay.
Supportive wife.
Speaking of warm, I have my seat warmers on right now, and they're really, really warm.
The driver's side is all electric to move the seats, but if you want to move the seat on the passenger side, you have to physically do it yourself. Now back to the drive for a second. I feel like I need to do a better job of explaining how it feels to the viewers. The IONIQ 5 is kind of in the middle. It feels a little sporty, but it also feels very family-oriented. You kind of get best of both worlds. Kia EV6, which is on the same platform, feels super sporty. Like it's more of a sports car. You have better turning, the steering's a bit stiff. This one is just like pure comfort. You're buying this just to chill and drive. Not very sporty, but it just feels...
Yeah, you're not looking for luxury.
Yeah, you're not... I mean, there's a little bit of... There's luxurious elements, but overall, this is not like a luxury vehicle as the price point reflects it. Right. Now, this car does come with 17-inch wheels. You obviously have the charging port on the front. Now, personally, I don't really care if it's on the front.
And the charging, and it's actually heated as well.
So heated charging, which is great in the wintertime.
Winter months.
Yeah, and I also noticed there's like a gasket around it, so to help prevent water from getting in. The only other downfall to mention is that the trunk is not electric. You have to manually open yourself and also close it. You do have some space in the trunk underneath the main portion of it. Like there's actually a space for a tire, right? Like when you buy this car, it actually comes with a tire repair kit, but personally, the fact that there's a space for a spare tire, I would order the spare tire and keep it in the back. Also, the back seat does have cup holders in the middle. They're not covered, they're open, so if you put your elbow on it, it could go in, but there's no ski pass-through to allow
your elbow could go in?
Yeah, you could lose your elbow for life.
You need to cover it so that your elbow doesn't go in?
Well, I mean, if you're resting it,
Most cup holders are not covered.
But the good cars have it right. Lots of space back there, and because there's no transmission, there's no tunnel, which means you have the entire back floor ending up flat, which makes it more comfortable for a third passenger. Andrea, the big question, is this car worth the what?
Absolutely. I think the price point is right on. I think you get a lot for the price, especially if you're buying the ultimate package. You have a lot of great upgrades to the car, and I think whether you're a family or if you're someone who is single, someone who just wants a comfortable ride, this is absolutely the car.
I agree. I think they nailed the iPedal driving. It feels just as good as a Tesla when you're slowing down, especially when you have it on max. The only thing I don't like is the gear shift. You have to twist it, which reminds me that I'm giving somebody a purple Nurple. But those two minor things aside, I think the car is absolutely worth it for the price point. It's a little bit cheaper than the Model 3, and I feel like you get a lot more for the money. So yeah, we absolutely recommend it. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys in the next one.